So we are picking up where we left off. Kind of a little different though. The engine is back out of the car once again, and we got our hands on a Collins adapter kit. One of Winston's buddies had this kit laying around. He's had it for a couple years now, and he's rebuilding his JZ, so we didn't need it, so he let us borrow it so we could do the mock-up and get the transmission hooked up, see how everything looks. So this is just the kit right here that he's installing. Let me turn this light. It's gonna get a little bright on you. Ready, bud? Well, there's the plate right there, guys. And he's just threading in those hex head bolts there. That way they sit flush. And then the Collins adapter flywheels over here. Get that thing bolted up. And then we will see if we can get the CDO 8 on the back of this guy and get it mocked up in the car. We'll set it back on the engine mounts where we notch these guys, and then we will try to make a cross member. We're going to use the factory cross member that's on the CDO right now, but we're going to try to modify it any way that we can to use it, so that way we don't have to spend any money on an adapter cross member. So I'll check in with you guys here shortly once he gets that all bolted up, and then we will go from there. So the Collins plate is bolted up here, and he's got his old clutch on there just for mock-up reasons. Make sure everything's fitting smoothly, everything's fitting good. We're gonna try to bolt up this trans right now. Hopefully this works. You wanna grab the tire and try to lay this thing down?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Alright.
Grab the tire and do it.
Alright, that's 15 that's over there. Alright guys, I'm gonna set you down up here. YouTube, what's going on? Thank you for checking back in with the Doghouse video today, guys. We are messing with the JZ. Nothing crazy, nothing you know, out of this world, but we are definitely saving a lot of money, and something that maybe some of you guys might want to do if you're interested, if you're broke boys like us. Here is kind of our wiring mess. Now, it may look a little overwhelming, I guess I should say, but it's really not that bad. All Winston is really doing here is one, we took his old 350Z harness, engine harness, and we basically just de-wired everything. We cut everything off of it. Joe, what the hell are you doing? Nothing, you were just bent over and I was zooming in and I got the back of your head.
Oh.
So anyways, he just pulled out all of the 350Z wiring, or like the whole harness itself, and then he's used almost what, they've all basically matched up, right? Like,
for the most part, color to color.
He's like found like this, for example, right here. This orange or red and white right here. This is a 350Z like wire, and you know it's obviously the same you know, gauge, and then obviously the little coating on the outside is what do they call it? A tracer on the outside of the wire matches up with the rest of the harness. So basically right now what we're doing is extending it. Now this is still the JZ harness here, and then this is our new extended harness. We've extended it over 2 feet, that way we can reach the passenger side of the 350Z, and we can tuck the ECU in there in the little ECU box, and then we can run all the power and such to, like, from, or well, excuse me, not to, but from the ECU to, like, you know, a small power supply that we can bolt inside that fender well that's, like, you know, hidden. We're basically where the battery goes and all the electronics, all that stuff. We're gonna have our own little fuse box there, our own fuse tray. We got one of those on order. Basically just put all of our power right there in that corner, and then from there take the power from the ECU and run that down to our switches and all of our like power supplies that are going to be in the vehicle that Winston's going to be able to power when he's driving the car and in the car. That's going to be including our fan, main power and ignition, and then we're gonna do a fuel pump on a switch, and then eventually, you know, when he's gonna have accessories for, you know, auxiliary lighting and stuff that he can run in there. And that's basically the game plan. So I know it's a ton of talking and it's kind of all over right now, but it'll kind of make sense in the next few clips, because hopefully we're hoping to having the engine in the car, obviously without the transmission as of right now, but we're gonna drop it in with a starter and such, get it in there on the mounts. We ordered an intercooler kit, and we have 350Z power steering adapted to the JZ power steering pump. So all we have to do is figure out just how to bend these lines down to the rack a little bit better, a little more cleaner. And other than that, we're gonna try to hear the JZ run inside the car with an intercooler. And you ordered a MAF too, right?
Yep.
So we'll have a MAF, a full switch panel, like a fusible link tray that basically will be our own power supply. And then that's it, right? Intercooler, did I already say that? Yeah.
Yep.
So
Intercooler,
MAF, switch panel, and I don't know, I feel like we're forgetting something.
there is something else.
Intercooler, MAF, fuse panel, switch panel. Okay, that makes sense there. Guys, and now we have that all squared away. That is the game plan as of right now for the 350Z. We've also talked to a shop down here in Jacksonville, Florida. They go by Jack's Fab, really easy. They're an awesome shop. It's actually just like a one-man band, two-man band. I've been down there and gave him a helping hand and stuff, and done some helper work with him. And he does a lot of automotive stuff. So he's going to be building us a drive shaft, hopefully for you know, kind of the low $400 or $500, which is pretty fair. And we can get that guy squared away after this Collins kit is ordered up, and we'll have a running 350Z, because we'll have all the corks and all the wiring ready to rock and roll once we're done. And the fuel lines are ran. I'll show you guys all that stuff tomorrow. So we're gonna follow up with the JZ build right now. It is gloomy, rainy, and kind of black right now, so we're holding off on doing some of the paint work. As you guys can see, Florida is, I don't know what the hell is going on here. It's always something. On Monday it was 80 degrees, and now it's 50 degrees and
yeah, crazy.
Like drizzling. But anyways, guys, the reason why we were filming for a couple things. Winston stretched his harness, as you guys saw in the last clip, and we got it all secured up in here. As you guys can see, this is the harness that he stretched, and he's even got it ran through the firewall if he wanted to use it down in the cab. But what we're doing and what we're trying to figure out is getting this ECU in this box, because it's got a cover, it's waterproof, and we want to set it right here in our electronic area where we're going to put like a master power and all that good stuff. But right now we're mocking up the engine. Winston messed with the engine mounts a little bit to kind of straighten out the engine, because it was kind of sitting uneven, and so far so good. It looks much better than it did prior. It's kind of hard to tell without, you know, like actually looking at it. It's got a little bit of a tilt, but nothing crazy. But this is the intercooler kit here. We've got our intercooler, we've got our power steering almost figured out. Here's the hard line that we have ran down. It's actually ran to the rack right now. We're gonna mount this along the side of the body here up into the power steering. Now this is a 350Z high pressure line, and then obviously we're just gonna run a soft line from here to a cooler back down to the rack. He's got a factory cooler that came off the 350Z, so we're just gonna use that just because it's nice. Anyways, you wanna do the honors, bro?
Oh yeah, do the honors.
Wow, a tape measure / razor blade. This intercooler kit is a universal kit that we picked up off eBay. It was around $200 or so, shipped with Amazon Prime. We're pretty excited to get a hold of this guy, because I mean, honestly, it was really fair pricing for everything that we're getting. We're getting couplings, clamps, piping, and obviously an intercooler itself. And here's the kit. So there's all the couplings there, guys. All the clamps. Looks like most of the hoses and stuff are down there on the bottom. Oh, there goes your fresh black paint. Nice. Like I said, guys, this is a universal kit, so if we can't figure something out or we can't get something to work, we can cut it up, move it around, weld it, do whatever we need to do to get it, you know, properly functioning. Similar to what I did, you know, with my front end when I was working at that Vulcan shop. There's the intercooler. Hey, it's a little mini guy like mine. Nice. Oh man, that thing looks really good condition.
Sexy
Nice.
as hell.
Well, a little boogered up welds. Look like I did that. Nice. Not bad at all.
Not at all.
Hopefully that'll do the trick for you.
I'm hoping it will. Should sit right
I mean,
here.
it's stock turbo, so. That or behind it. If it'll fit.
It might.
We'll figure it out when we get to that point. Here's a little update for you guys. You can barely tell that there's an intercooler back there, huh? I like all the colors. Skittles taste the rainbow. But yes, sir, we've got all of our piping ran up. There's the intercooler hiding back there. It is all plumbed. Last thing we got to do is figure out what we're doing with our like a MAF sensor. You know, just a home for the MAF to sit in, or whether we're going to try to make our own or whatever, and then obviously a filter. And we got ourselves a JZ that is plumbed up and just about ready to rock and roll in there.
Rock and roll, for real.
Last thing on the list, guys, is our Collins kit. That's literally what's holding us up the most. Collins kit and a drive shaft. That's our biggest things. We're going to use a S13 radiator, dual core. We'll figure out hoses and such when we get to that point. And then obviously we'll run auxiliary, boost, oil, and water temp for right now. Winston wants to try to splice into the Z harness and see if we can get the tachometer and such to work, but that'll be later on. As of right now, we're just trying to get this thing squared away and ready to rock and roll with the whole drive line in it. And once we get it all driving and moving around on its own power, I think we'll start messing with some of the wiring and going from there. But she's on there, guys. She's on there and she's hidden in there. Being held up with a bungee cord right now because we haven't made any mounts for it, but the general idea. So we are back out here, guys, following up with the engine after the intercool install, and we're working on getting the throttle cable situated so that way we can wire up this engine and get it running inside the car. If you guys have a 350Z and you're wondering how this is all working, this is the little shield that was on it, and we just simply cut off the bracket that was on the pedal assembly itself, and then we drove down a small little slit down the pedal right here so you guys can get an idea. This is just the stock 350Z pedal. We put that small slit in it and we're going to run this cable through it, and then we're going to bend it down on it so that way this little notch here on the cable, that little ball there, it'll have something to sit on. So Winston's working on drilling the hole right now as we speak. As you guys can see, it's a little tough getting back there. He's already notched one hole there to run it through. Now we're just trying to get into the firewall. So once he gets that all done, we'll let you guys know how that whole setup is. And other than that, guys, it's honestly just a waiting game. Winston's probably going to order his adapter kit this Friday, get that all taken care of, and we should have this car going at the new year or around then. So we're about there.
Yep, I say 2 weeks. We should have this on the road running.
2 weeks?
2 weeks.
All right.
Have this on the road running.
Almost there. So as you guys can see, the garage is all cleaned up. The 240 is now out of my life. I have sold it. You guys will get to see the next little surprise on the channel, but until then we'll be doing some 350Z love and getting this guy right. What's going on, guys? So I want to apologize. It's going to be the last little clip of this video so we can just wrap this portion up. The 350Z has most of the engine harness and such in it at the moment, and once this bike passes by I'll show you. Give me a second. So where we left off with you was the intercooler and such, getting all that mounted up, and then Winston was messing with the harness. Right now he's got a temporary setup wired up so that way we can power up the engine and fire it up in the car. First we're going to figure out getting a radiator and getting that in there, and then we will bring life to the engine inside the car. We've already had the fuel pump powered up, sending fuel up to the engine, up routed through our fuel lines and stuff, and we'll show you all that stuff in detail in the next video so that way we can kind of get everything sorted and such and then go from there. It's really not that hard. It's just kind of cleaning up wiring and stuff, like, you know, stuff that you guys, you know what you're doing if you're doing it yourself, so you'll be figuring that out, and we've just got to just mount it places and clean it up, and then from there we'll be checking in with you guys. Winston has ordered his kit for
Finally.
Who did you order it from? So we didn't do.
We didn't do Collins, which was the original plan. I just have been talking to a bunch of people and not gonna put anybody under the bus, but I decided to go with another company called Maverick. It was a really good price, to be 100% honest. So we will show you how that all fits up and everything. I know it's not something that everybody uses, so I'm hoping to get that on there and rep their stuff if it works well. So
sweet. So yeah, that's about it for the update. I know we've kind of been slow, and with the holidays and stuff, I've been behind. And if you guys keep up with the 240 and stuff, you know that I sold that and I got into another truck. So we've just kind of been all over the place. But yes, parts have been ordered. We are almost there to getting this JZ 350Z running. Right now, we are about to go drop the drive shaft off. Where is it at? The truck?
in the truck, yeah.
Okay, so he already loaded up the drive shaft. We're gonna take that down to Jack's fab. He's gonna get one measured out for us. I think it's gonna be 49 inches. And from there, I think we'll be set. Once that thing gets done, we have the kit in. We'll mount everything up, get a clutch ordered in, and we'll be good to go. So we'll take you guys down to Jack's fab. If we're allowed to film in there, I'll show you guys there. And if not, I'll just kind of see you afterwards and we'll wrap the video up. You almost killed yourself, bro. Good thing it has a sensor. So I don't have the wide angle lens on the camera right now, so hopefully the camera is much better, and I do apologize if you guys are complaining about that, because the last video I uploaded, everyone complained. So it's not on there right now. I have a new one on the way, get that taken care of. But we're at Jack's fab right now. They're doing like a top secret project. We've already dropped the drive shaft off, and we're not really allowed to like see what's in there. He's been like doing this for the past couple weeks, so we don't know what's going on in there, and that's kind of his thing. So if you guys do follow along with Jack's fab, he's an awesome guy. Check him out on Instagram and stuff. He does awesome work. And other than that, guys, we are probably just gonna wrap it up for this video. I don't really have much for you. Winston's got the kit on order. We are about halfway there, if not 3/4 of the way there. Once the drive shaft is here and we officially have the transmission mated to the engine, I think that's when we can say we're 3/4 of the way there. Fuel's ran, intercooler's on there. We gotta make the mounts for that. We gotta tuck the wiring harness. We are about done with the car, so I'm looking forward to it, guys. I will see you in the next video. Later.
Peace.